Welcome to Vibrational Revelations. This is part 2 of the water episode. And we're so excited to share our findings with all of you. Hopefully you've had a chance to watch part 1, but we can go actually through all of the numbers with you today. And for those of you that have missed it, absolutely take notes so you don't have to go back and reference it back. We have sirens in the background. Today we will start, let's all start with Dr. Emoto. And I did mention, perhaps off camera, let me mention it again. Dr. Emoto is actually, for me, one of the most important key figures in the science of consciousness. He studied with his team over 10,000 water samples, exposing the water to different words, emotions, different phrases, music. Of course, we don't have the slides to put it up for you, but I'm sure for those of you that have heard of him, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If not, please make sure that you take the time and you look at different crystal formations that water made when exposed to words like thank you in different languages, I love you, playing, let's say, classical music, some of them actually composers that we revealed in one of our past episodes, and how truly remarkable and beautiful the water shaped versus phrases that are negative or hateful. You could absolutely see that. And we all know that, of course, we are a minimum of 70% water. We live on the water planet. So therefore, everything that we're doing to our water, we're doing to ourselves and to each other. And this is a very important episode that actually, as a result of the first episode with water, we made a decision that every week at the end of the episode, we will be doing a guided, intentional meditation to send light and love energy and healing energy to different bodies of water around the world. And we will be sending our thoughts and prayers and intention today after we're done with the presentation to waters in the Suez Canal. But first, let's start with Dr. Emoto. Mm-hmm. Oh, I did want to quickly say, I forgot to mention, Dr. Emoto's work was not accepted by the TED because they considered him a pseudoscientist. So just keep in mind that what most of us in our community consider as very important scientific data is not yet considered scientific enough for the mainstream. But to us, he is important. And I think for many, many people who are open. Mm-hmm. Oh, let's guess his vibrational frequency, Dr. Masaru Emoto. You guys are great. All right, last one, and then we're going to reveal the numbers to you.
Mm-hmm. Masaru Emoto, incarnated at the frequency of 500, the level of love. Was born at the frequency of 310, level of willingness, and his overall frequency is 500. When it comes to health, he viewed health through the lens of 700. That's where enlightenment begins. Finances at 400, level of reason, high intellect. Creativity, 650, level of peace, between peace and enlightenment. Relationships, 400. Personal growth, 700. Philanthropy, 700. Intuition, 525. With an intuition, we have clairaudience, 500. Clairsentience, 700. Clairvoyance, 400. And claircognizance, 500. In the joy, how much he enjoyed the role that he played in this reality as Masaru. 94%. In the ego, 62%. And out of that, 67% represents the inferior version of the ego. In the now, or in the present moment, 93%. Integrity, 98%. Self-awareness, 91%. Clarity, 94%. Alignment with divine purpose, 100%. Alignment with personal purpose, 97%. Maybe it wasn't 100% because he was not accepted by TED. Who knows?
A lot of scientists, yeah.
I'm just saying, not necessarily the case. Compassion, 100%. And before incarnation, his frequency was 500.
So a lot of you were right. He had a lot of 700s on his chart.
Yes. He has
600s,
600s, 500s,
yes.
700s.
Yes, amazing. I've quoted him. I've referenced his work for the last 15 years of lecturing. So I'm happy that we checked his frequency. All right. Let's go through. So we'll probably repeat some of the list, some of the readings that we've done in episode 1, and we'll just build on that. Okay. So we did mention that water frequency overall is 800. We did measure the tap water in Moscow, 110, fear. Johannesburg, 110, fear. Sydney, Australia, water, 100. New York City, London, Shanghai, and Tokyo, the water is 50. Now let's look at the lakes. Of course, Lake Baikal, you've heard us talk about that, frequency 800. Scottish Highland water, 700. The Ganges River is 525. Great Lakes, 500. Lake Victoria, 500. Lake Titicaca, 500. Crater Lake, 500. Lake Tahoe, 500. The Springs of Lourdes, 500. Springs of Mount Laoshan, 500. Santa Maria alla Fontana, 500. Lake Kariba, 400. Lake Atitlan, 400. Lake Manasar Rovar, 400. River Jordan, 400. Dead Sea, 400. Fountain of Youth, which is in Florida, 400. Hunza River, 250. Lake Geneva, 250. Fountain of Pon Lai, 200. The River Nile, 200. Gulf of Mexico, 200. Amazon Waters, 200. Amazon River, 200. Sea of Galilee, 200. Persian Gulf, 200. And the Suez Canal is 50. That's the one we'll be sending energy to today. Now, the oceans, I believe we covered in episode 1. I'll just review it. Arctic Ocean, 700. Pacific Ocean, 650. Indian Ocean, 600. Southern Ocean, 600. Atlantic Ocean, 600. Now, hydrolyzed water, 200. Ionized water, 125. Alkaline water, 55. I know a lot of people asked for that. Distilled water, 55. Reverse osmosis or ROS, 50. Berkey filter, 50. Let's see, Divinia water, which is the 4th phase of water, frequency of 200. E-spring filtration water is 50. And now we'll go quickly again through the filtered bottled water. I know you guys have asked us about it, and we have revealed most of it. San Pellegrino, 125. Aquapana, 125. Smart water, 55. Now we'll go into all the 55. Saratoga, Eternal Water, Proud Source Water, Dasani, Perrier, Fiji, Avian, Voss. Let's see, Voss, Essentia, Topo Chico, Iceland Glacial, Vaikia, Iceberg Water, Callaway Blue Water, Antipodes Water, Open Water, Core Hydration, Aquafina, Saint Jerome, Arrowhead, Liquid. Okay, so let's see. Saint Jerome was the last one. All those I just listed are 50. There's actually a water that's called Liquid Death. I cannot believe somebody would call it that. Frequency of 30.
But they hit it right on because
Right?
of the frequency.
Right? Talk about imprinting that. Just Water, frequency is 30. Arrowhead, frequency of water is 30. Do I recommend drinking that water? No. I don't think so. Now, we did measure one more thing, which is Borjomi. It's from the mountains of Georgia in the former Soviet Republic. And the frequency of that water is 125. I did want to differentiate something because I said, where does this water come from? Why is it considered healing water? And it comes from the mountains of Bakuraini. And the water in those mountains vibrates at the frequency of 600. Okay? 600. So Borjomi water comes from the source that is 600. Now you've got your list after watching the episode, right?
Well, just a quarter of it, I think, because I studied where you left off.
Oh. So we're talking about, just so people know, we're talking about a short film on Gaia that's called The Secrets of Water. And what Alejandro did is wrote down some of the water, bodies of water where the Dr. Korotkov took samples of that water and they looked under the microscope, right? And they saw the formations.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Are you going?
Oh, yeah, I thought you were going to continue.
No.
Because I usually take a pause to gather my thoughts, and maybe you were doing the same. Mount Cook Glacier in New Zealand, vibrational frequency 600. Sambu Ichi Usui spring water in Japan, vibrational frequency 600. Lake in Carapicuíba, Carapicuíba, Brazil, vibrational frequency 600, the level of peace. Underground water in Northern Ireland, this is in New Zealand, 600. Fountain in Lourdes, you did this already, right?
That,
in France, 500. And then the last but not least is Roraima Summit, vibrational frequency 500. And all these bodies of water were showing, like Elena was saying, was showing beautiful geometrical figures in the form of hexagon.
Mm-hmm.
Hexagon.
Yes.
Right? And just beautifully formed. And that is because the water is healthy, right? It's structured. And it flows. They say that when the water flows naturally, without any resistance, without being moved or passed through different experiments or processes, and it flows freely, naturally, that's when the vibrational frequency is high, and that's when the water shows these formations of beautiful figures, right? And but in the case of Roraima Summit, is the water that Dr. Kirchhoff, the one that we had the pleasure to interview here.
Yes.
He said that he also checked the energy field of the people that were exposed to this water before and after, and their energy field showed a tremendous amount of expansion, and their field was strengthened and looked healthier, much healthier, right? Due to the exposure to these waters. And now we know the vibrational frequency is 500. right? So it's very, I mean, I think the film was very well done.
Actually, and our
done.
numbers confirm it.
Yes.
How exciting. And I do want to answer your question, because we did have a couple of people right now that posted and said, well, what to do now? And we actually talked about it last time. And that is the power of your intention, that before you drink water, you can imprint it. It takes almost no time to really imprint your water. Hold it in your hands and imprint it with love coming from your heart. We did that as an experiment. I don't remember how many people joined us last week.
But like
Maybe
I said, it
70.
really doesn't matter how low or high you vibrate, as long as you focus your attention, towards the water and set a good intention, right? And that's all it takes for the water to be imprinted by that intention, or by which is thought. And every thought has its own vibrational frequency, right? And then the molecules of the water molecules are really form clusters, and right, by connecting to other molecules, they have two different sides, and both are overly charged, one positively, the other one negatively, and that allows for other molecules of the same to attach to each other and form clusters. And the clusters are the ones that store all the information, will store all these frequencies that you're emitting by setting a good intention towards the water.
That's right.
And that's what you will be ingesting or drinking, right?
We did post the results from water experiment from last week, Sharon. And the water went up from what frequency did we say before? 50. It went from 50 before, and after it was a frequency of 500.
Yes, and a couple of days later, I remember that we had measured the overall frequency of the people that attend to the live episodes, and it was 500. I don't know if you guys recall. The
average collective of our community, of those who attend, which is very interesting.
Those who attend the live episodes. We did this a few months ago, and it was 500.
Yeah. Marty says that also praying and creating an intention is also good for the food we eat. Yes. And this is why in many, many cultures, people do that.
Right. Yes, with everything in general, right? And it takes practice.
We should send love to the flood victims in the EU. We can do that. You can do that with the food as well to raise the vibration, right? Absolutely.
Just talk to it as if you're talking to an energy being, right? What is it that you will like that energy entity or being to do for you, right?
Did you happen to do structured water? I don't know if this fourth phase of water, is that
this list that I gave you from that film is structured water.
Naturally, water is structured when it's
right.
Not.
That is when you are able to see this beautifully formed hexagons, right?
But they're asking if what do you mean? Have you measured grander technology on structured water?
Well, we don't have that technology.
Did you measure? It's grander water. That's the name of it.
No,
we did not measure that.
Not the way they measure it.
But apparently,
we can do it in a different way to see which water is has been restructured, or which water is structured.
But apparently, remember, Dr. Ryan said that there's only one person, that his partner is the one that patented the technology of structuring the water. I don't know what it's called. So we can't just measure structured water unless we know exactly, because naturally water does that. So we would need to know the exact technology used for that.
Yes, when the frequency is very low.
Isn't that grander the fourth phase? Maybe.
When the frequency is very low, that means that the water is, it's that is going to manipulate you at 50. It's just it has been manipulated, right? And then pretty much a force to adjust to what is being required. But and that causes the frequency to drop and the health of the water to drop, and that's what causes the to find water that is not as structured.
Well, here somebody said, actually, Belladonna, that the filter she has, it's called restructured water. We'll have to check that for you and let you know the frequency of that. Let's write it down so we don't forget it. But this will be part 3. So you want to create the list? Please post it.